Hello everyone, hope you're doing well today. We are back. We are back in the 2017 Platinum. And if you don't know this by now, it is supercharged. I purposely went out of my way to not drive this for pretty much a week straight. The Tacoma is gone. So we are back in it. I drove it real quick to make a video a few days ago about the headlights. So I drove it around the block, nothing crazy. This is the first time we're actually really driving it again. And just literally a couple blocks away from my house, one thing that is glaringly obvious to me is how much more throttle response this truck has. It's very sensitive on the pedal. Here you go. That wasn't even full throttle. You know, it's a heavier truck than the Tacoma, obviously, but it really does, it handles the power really well. And what I mean by that is, like, you put your foot on the pedal, this truck can go. Absolutely heavy, absolutely bigger. The thing has some body roll. We talk about it all the time, but it's such a pleasure to drive. And it was absolutely fun to drive the Tacoma and get a different kind of mindset. It actually makes me appreciate the Tundra a lot more. And I appreciate the Tacoma too. I don't hate it at all. I had a great time with it. It's just something so different. You know, it's like you get the utility of a truck in a smaller body, which is just really excellent for some people in congested areas like we talked about the last few videos. But for me, I really do like the Tundra, and it is definitely good to be back. But yeah, it just feels so different driving than a Tacoma. So we are back. The Tacoma, once again, is gone. So thank you once again to Toyota, TMNA, Corey, all the people who helped me out with these press vehicles. They're a lot of fun to drive. And at the end of the day, even though the vehicles aren't Tundras, it still helps us appreciate and learn from driving those vehicles more about the Tundra, in my opinion. Like I said, one of the main things people always ask me when they're in the market for a Toyota truck, do I go mid-size or full-size? And that's just not Toyota buyers. Everyone asks that when they want a truck. Like, is the mid-size enough truck for me for what I do? So when we get things like the Tacoma, it's a good test to see, you know, what you can do with a mid-size truck versus this full-size truck. I will tell you this, when I started the Tundra, I got that belt whistle or pulley whistle that has been happening. I still haven't taken the truck in for service. A lot of people ask me any updates on it. I had to cancel an appointment last week, so we will eventually get this truck up for service and we will figure out what's wrong. I did speak to a master technician from another Toyota dealership, and he says it sounds like it's a pulley. One of the pulleys has gone bad. So we'll get that taken care of. But for now, so when I started the truck, it had that whistle that we talked about over and over again, but now you don't hear anything at all. It's funny, it's like when the truck warms up, you don't hear it anymore. It's very inconsistent, and I know what's gonna happen. They're gonna get this truck up to the dealership to work on it, to service it, and they're not gonna be able to recreate the problem, which is why I'm gonna tell them to hold onto the truck until they fix the problem. It's gonna be one of those things where once the truck gets to the dealership, it'll be all warmed up and you won't hear any of the squealing or the whistle or anything like that. But if you let the truck sit overnight, when you start it the next day, most likely you will hear it. And it is extremely noisy when it's cold too. But that's not the point of this video. Just wanted to give you an update there. But overall, very happy to be back in the Tundra. It's exciting. I'm as much as I talked about this over the last few videos about how, like, the Tundra has a lot of brake dive, a lot of body roll, it still is a lot of fun to drive. And there's a ton of power with this amount of throttle response. That is the glaring difference to me with the Tacoma and coming back into the Tundra. Is with the Tacoma, you really had to work the pedal to get the kind of power delivery you wanted out of it. This, you just basically put your big toe on the pedal and you're down the road. This thing has a lot of power and really wants to go, and that has nothing to do with the supercharger. It's like that on the naturally aspirated 5.7 V8 as well. So if you're in the market, at the end of the day, you gotta just test drive both. You gotta test drive the Tacoma, you gotta test drive a double cab Tundra, and you gotta test drive a Crew Max Tundra. And that's the best way. You can listen to me and other reviewers all you want, and we try to give you a general idea of the direction you may want to go, but at the end of the day, it's your wallet, it's your life. You know, you're gonna do what you gotta do with your truck, so you gotta get out there and test drive it. And don't test drive it, you know, around the block. Make sure you do test drives with a lot of different kinds of driving. So, like, if you could get onto a highway just for an exit or two real quick, some local roads, things like that. Don't be afraid to take it where you're gonna use it. Trust me, the dealership won't mind. They want to sell the truck, so they want you to be comfortable with what you buy. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up. But we are back. The Tundra is back, so I'm very excited. Twitter and Instagram at Tundra234, Tundra234@gmail.com. I will see you guys later.